Hi guys, it's Unders. Today we're having a look at the new repeater plugin from Slate Digital and D16 on their latest collaboration. If these sorts of videos are helpful for you, please subscribe to the channel, pop a like on the video. It helps me out massively in creating more reviews, tutorials and videos for you guys in general. So let's dig into this. I've got a couple of other delays up here. Just the standard tape delay down here on the left that is in Logic because I use that on the track. I've got the Waves H delay up here because it's a really good comparison to let you know what's going on in repeater here. So repeater is effectively an analog modeled delay. It allows you for different types of delay: tape delay, digital delay, wide delay, etc. The key thing about it is the sheer depth of it. So the reason I've got H delay up here, if you look at H delay, which is the orange one over here on the left, and then you look at the second white box that I'm outlining here on repeater, what you've got in that white box is effectively all of what's going on in H delay in that little bit. So everything else that's going on over here and whatnot is extra. And it's a really intense delay plugin. The amount of ability you've got in it is fantastic. So let's dig into it. So effectively it's a similar layout to what you've got in H delay here. You've got your different delay times, you've got your feedback amount, you've got different spread types here. Okay, now spread types will be how the delay works, if it's using like a hash delay to make it sound really wide and things like that, and you can flick through those as well. What's really important to note is you've got different delay times for left and right, which is really useful. You'll see that in a lot of like stereo delays. The tape delay I've used here hasn't got it, but there is one in Logic that allows for stereo delay times, and that's really good for creating a really wide effect. Something else they've added in here is you've got a phase invert. Now if you phase invert at one side, you get a huge sound, although it comes with the added problem of when you sum to mono, you're almost certainly going to get cancellation. Now in the next bit here, they've added an EQ with color as well. So going for the analog modeling style, which is what Slate is really all about. It's got an analog modeled EQ to go after the delay, and that again is left and right, so you can really play with the stereo field and how it's working left sound versus right and get really big wide lush effects. After that, they've then got a pan. So if you really want, you can swap the left and right over. You can have everything go left, everything go right. You can have it dead center and then automate it to pan out and spread. And then each side has its own mix as well. So effectively what this does, audio comes in, is then split into two, and you've got a follow along up here, and then you've got a follow along down the bottom here, splitting it back in, and then summed back out to a stereo channel here. So you can feed a mono signal in and make a huge, great big wide delay. It's a very intense delay plugin here. It looks a little bit overwhelming, but once you understand that these knobs across the top here do the same thing as the knobs across the bottom here, and it's just splitting your audio, it's not so intense. It's a normal delay, and you're gonna follow through that delay, feedback, EQ, pan and mix. There you go, nice and easy, broken down. So on the H delay plugin, it does the same thing, but it's all affecting the stereo. Okay, and the EQ, we've got the high pass, low pass, depth and rate monitors. They're going to be looking in here, so how this works in the middle. When we flick through the presets, you'll see how the different settings change and give you a different sound. Now one thing to note about this, up here, the buttons, they've again gone for the analog system where you'd sort of have a shift button to work on other buttons and give them a secondary function, effectively a function key on what you'd find on the keyboard. So about and options, if you click, by default it's the bottom ones, so you get options, previous, next and browse just by clicking these buttons. On Mac, if you hold command, it will then open the top one. So if you wanted to save your preset, for example, it's command and click here, and that's going to let you get that done. Same for reload, same for initialize. So it's currently, I've just put it on this back vocals wide. If we then command click here, it's going to initialize the patch for us. And that's just a good thing to note, because it's not an obvious thing. It's not something you see in that many plugins, but it's a good way of keeping the interface nice and clean and just having two forms. And again, this is sort of a throwback to the analog stuff they've modeled. So let's close these away. I've just got the start of a track here. The delay is on this piano section here, which will just solo so you can hear quickly. That's something I really love about this. When you're flicking through the presets, you get the tape wind down and tape effects. They could be really good to play around with and just do effects with. You just heard when I turned it on there, it just gave that little tape wind in. Rather than a pop or a click like you would get with a normal thing, it winds it in, which is just a nice little touch. So let's just flick through some of the presets. Have a little listen to how this sounds on the piano. If you click up here, so this is in this main section here where we've got digital 42 times. This is where you can choose the different types of delay. So we can go vintage, tape delay modern, for example, and it's going to change the characteristics of how the delay sounds and works. Let's invert the phase. And hear a different spread. Very obvious there what ping pong's doing. Something else to note here, you've got the LEDs in the middle of the EQ and center and whatnot. If you click link, it's going to grab the same frequency as the top channel, and then whichever one you touch will then also play. If you link the pan, however, it again grabs the top channel, so it will pull the right channel over to the left. Not particularly that useful. It'd be better if the link worked more like it does on Slate tape plugin, for example, where it goes in the opposite direction. But that's only for the pan, so it's not a huge issue. That's nice. That's something that's not particularly obvious as well. So here are the time divisions. So full being, say it's on 1/4, it'll be 1 on each beat. Then you've got dotted and triplet. You have to click on those. There's not like a, they're not obviously there. You have to actually activate them to be able to see them and change into those different time divisions. For these, you can obviously just change by scrolling up here, and if you want to unlink them, you can have different time divisions each side. I love that winding effect. It's worth it just for that alone. Let's use command initialize and browse through what we got. Let's take the wave shaper. Before we stay things out. Okay, something else that I didn't know, the sync mode over here on the left, if we go none, we're going to be in millisecond divisions. You can use tap to tap the tempo in based on the beat. If you go off from none and do host, it's sync divisions, so 1, 4, etc., and they snap based on here. You can only swap between the two. You can't have one with none and one on host, for example. They are both working on the same, but you can still tap it and it will give you the closest there of what it is based on the host tempo, which I think this is 175. 174. Pull the mix down a bit there. It's a great delay, it really is. It's probably the most feature-packed delay I've used in a long while. I normally use H delay or just the delays that come built with Logic, but this is going to get lots and lots of play around. I think I'm going to have to work on this track a bit more, and I'm probably going to keep this in it from the sound I get. And I love that little warm-up effect at the start. It brings a really nice touch to the intro of the song. Perhaps not that particular preset, but yeah, I'm going to keep working on this. And guys, go try the delay out, have a listen to the other reviews and all that. It's probably the best delay plugin that's come out in a long while. It's absolutely fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If it was helpful for you, like, subscribe, keep checking out the channel. Thank you very much. Catch you on the next one.